Peace and love, family and friends, naysayers, whomever. My name is Leon Wheeler Jr., and this is Master Making in Motion. And today's brief topic will be centered around the subject keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. This is the theme or line that came from my favorite movie of all time, The Godfather Part 2. And this was said by Michael Corleone, or can I say Corleone? Catchphrase, huh? Okay, anyway, that statement created a lot of thought for me. I tried to figure out, how I can apply it, how it should be used across the board, because it's a provocative thought. It's a thought provocative situation. It makes you think. It makes you try to figure out, what all was entailed, what was meant by that. And there was a lot that took place in the movie that dealt with the scenario. At the time, he was talking to Pantasia. I may not be pronouncing his name right, but I see it so vividly in my mind. And he was at his father's, at the original house that they had gave to him. He went to Clemenza first, and then he ended up with it. And he came in and he was talking to him, and he was giving a scenario about possibly dealing with a scenario with Jaime Roth, who was a Jew that had been a gangster in the community for many years, a very smart, strategic guy, older than Michael, and he had some animosity towards Michael, and he was planning to do away with Michael because of some past blood that had festered because Michael took out one of his proteges, which was Mo Green. Now, like I said, it's a real deep scenario that centered around this, and all of the themes. There's a lot of things that connected to the scenario to give me the reason to believe that it's a possibility. It was really focusing more so on watching your family and friends. Even though the statement says keep your family close, but your enemies closer. But at the time, Roth was acting as if he was a friend. He had even looked at Michael as almost like a son figure in a sense. But again, all along he had malice in his heart. He wanted to do him. He wanted to do him wrong. He wanted to get back at him because Michael had killed Mo Green earlier on because Mo Green disrespected the Corleone's family name by slapping his brother around, Fredo. So Jaime Roth was systematically planning the demise of Michael, working out a way to tear him down, to destroy him. But Michael was pretty clever himself, another architect in the game of life, and he peeped that. So he was talking to Pantelium about the scenario, and when his father had gave him that game, he said he taught him in that particular room that they were in, and he said, and that was the thing he said. He said, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. So this is a real delicate subject matter, and before I go any further, I want to make it perfectly clear that this isn't a stab at anyone, and I'm speaking more or less to my family and friends. But it's a lesson I want to share a lesson that we can all possibly grow from and utilize in our lives so that we can, I guess, duck certain pitfalls. And knowing is definitely the benefit in all situations. What you know will definitely give you power. And this is what I'm about. I'm about, empowering myself and giving you game, sharing the game with you, teaching what I want to learn, which is how to be a master of myself. So this is the sharing process. And I'm sharing this information because you may find yourself in a similar situation or know someone in a similar situation. And this may be some information that can help you possibly change the course, redirect it. So, as I was saying, Mo Green was killed by Michael, and Jaime Roth was sneakily striving to do away with Michael, but Michael caught it. So Jaime Roth was disguising himself as a particular possible friend or family member. We even had some betrayal in the movie with Michael's brother, Fredo, which was unconsciously done. In my opinion, from my millions of time watching the show, I think that Fredo was just, somewhat weak and not as astute to the game. For whatever reason, even though he was raised in a household, he still had a different mindset about how to do certain things. And that happens. Just because you're a family member don't mean that you all see things the same. So I bring in this up because this is an issue that I've seen within our community. That a lot of times we have breakdowns in our families because of some possible past or present disagreements. In Robert Greene's book, 48 Laws to Power, in Law 2, I'm going to read it, not the book, this is the book. And this also goes with this. I'm not going to read nothing but Law 2, the introduction to that particular passage. It said, never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemy. He goes on a little further down what he called judgment. And this is how he lay out the theme of the concept that he's speaking of. He said, be wary of friends. They will betray you more quickly, for they are easily aroused to envy. They also become spoiled and tyrannical. Now, he goes on to say some other things that I guess I'll read it, but I don't want to get too far out of line of what I'm doing. He said, but hire a former enemy, and he will be more loyal than a friend, because he has more to prove. In fact, you have more to fear from friends than from enemies. If you have no enemies, find a way to make them. To me, that's just suggesting that, again, friends and family, for whatever reason, tend to be individuals that we may have the most problem with. I definitely believe that. Unfortunately, and again, it's because we haven't been given the game properly, so we allow different things to motivate us or to, I guess, to push us in the negative aspect of dealing with a family member, basically because of something again that possibly took place in the past. I think something that's been embedded in us, that's been breeded in us. That's again deal with the self-hate situation. But it's something that we can easily rectify. We can easily cure it by at least acknowledging what's possibly the problem. So we find family members falling out for all types of things, and most of it really is probably superficial overall. But somebody might feel offended because of something that took place, possibly in the past, more than likely. I see that individuals, you know, in my opinion, I think the worst thing, what really caused that the most is over familiarity. They got a phrase out saying familiarity, I might not be pronouncing it right, breeds contempt. And it's basically saying that being around the individual so much, it's easy for dislike or a problem to cause us to have a bigger problem. You know, for example, like I say, you may have done something, you may have put them in an uncompromising position, you may have asked them to do something for you, And them being a family member or friend, they want to fulfill their friend family obligation, and they do it. But that's something they may not really want to do, but they did it because of that friend family obligation. And down the line, they grow to resent you for putting them in that position because you asked them to do something that went against their moral judgment, against their integrity, against what they really maybe see themselves, how they see themselves. And they hold this against you. It festers in their spirit and their mind and their soul, and they eventually start demonstrating ill behavior towards you because of something that took place that you may have asked them to do or put them in a bad situation. And that happens. I've seen it, I've witnessed it, I've experienced it. And most of it is not done to purposely. It's not done out of malice. It's just the way we've been taught and not really going deep down. I guess we call it the rabbit's hole, and trying to filter out certain emotional baggage or garbage that we hold to. And so we don't, do the real research. We don't know ourselves, so we don't even realize what we're doing. And before we know it, we just, we're at odds. And we're continuously to go at those individuals who we love. We really love them. And that can possibly turn into envy and jealousy, malice, and over familiarity. It just breeds a lot of times negativity, you know, and it could be some toxic stuff that you demonstrated in the past that just bad behavior, and the person got to a point that they just can't deal with it anymore. So now they have some resentment towards you. But I think what really makes them act that way is because they love you so much, and this is what I think we all do this, but knowing it give you opportunity to possibly change it. I think what happens is you see the individual that you may have grew up with them, might be your brother, sister, or might be a friend that you grew up, a childhood friend that you've been knowing for years. Then, and this individual living the type of life that they're living, they see you and they say, well, you're not living up to your expectation. This is their perception of you. So what we do with that overfamiliarity is we start wanting to try to change you to be what we think that you should be, who we think you should be because of your gifts and your talents. So we want to rearrange you. And if you don't let us do that, again, that resentment can possibly fester from that. Anger, contempt, dislike, and it destroys relationships because your negative energy is felt from the other individual, and after a while they start resenting you. So now there's a tug of war. There's a war going on. There's a fight that we both may not even be conscious of. But I'm bringing it to our attention now so we can be conscious of it and we can possibly do some work to change that. So we don't have to, live with these vices, and knowing is half the battle, they say. And I believe that. So when Michael Corleone said that to Peltangelo, he was preparing him to accept something that in the past they wouldn't have done. You know, Plantagenet was saying, "Look, man, this is I don't have your insight, for business." He said, "But this is a street thing." And he was saying, "All I know to do is to fight fire with fire." Well, Michael told him that if you allow, if you allow them to believe, you allow Hami Roth to believe that I intervened in his benefit, for his, to do what he wants, done, he would become more relaxed, and then I'll be able to find out who the traitor is in my family, and I'll be able to do away with this guy who acts as if he's my friend, who acts as if I'm a family member to him. And unfortunately, he found out that the traitor, who actually wasn't necessarily a traitor, but just was an ignorant individual, was his brother Fredo. Fredo had, and this, and in the scheme of things, that statement actually shed light on two situations where family members were the problem. You know, and we don't want to be naive to that, because if you hold on or continuously to have a relationship with a family member that's that has ill intent towards you, that doesn't like you for whatever reason, and you don't address it, that's the first thing you should do. Is, if you conscious enough, you should try to bring it to that person's attention. And if you do, and they still continuously to perpetuate the same action, you probably need to just cut them off. You can still love them. Now, let me say this: in every one of my introductions, I always make note of family and friends. I say, love, peace and love to family and friends, and I say, naysayers and whomever. I say family and friends because I love my family. I love my family, and I believe my family loves me and my friends. And I look at family and friends actually equally. Honestly, today I look more to friends and highlight that friendship uh, more so than I made in family. And the reason why I do that now, because my family is my blood. We're connected either way. There's no way we can deny the fact that we are connected. We are blood related relatives. We're related by blood. We share a common bloodline. Could be again our mother, father, or uncles, or whatever. That's my family. We're blood. But a friend is something that you foster consciously, that you and the individual hopefully choose to become friends, and that grows over time. And in time, it should grow from a state of respect and loyalty, and become love. Now, if you got that with a family member, to me, that's boss game. That's the ultimate blessing, to have your your blood family as your friends, or as a friend, one of your blood relatives. That's a boss game. That's beautiful. That's divine. And in all honesty, I don't think that we can survive appropriately, or win, or change the course of our existence without family and friends. I don't think it's really possible. And if it do, it's going to take you forever, because there's this word called synergy, and it just focuses on energy, collective energy, and that's what it takes, energy. Outside of just yourself, you need other forces, because you can only cover so much ground by yourself. Now, if you got that from a family member, man, that's some divine stuff, man. That's some real powerful stuff. And that was the whole theme, really, for the most part, of The Godfather 1, 2, and 3. It was all really about family. Even though Michael Corleone, Corleone was demonstrating, he was living a life of crime, his overall goal was to possibly take his family from that stage, and make them legitimate business people, to make them a legitimate family. So his vision was always positive. But even as criminals, and I'm not trying to highlight or suggest that anybody engage in criminal activity. I suggest that you don't, because there's repercussions, especially for the black man. there's repercussions. And, I've done 23 years for that criminal mindset, and so I'm the first to tell you, and I'm qualified because I know what I'm talking about. Because one thing that criminal mind does give you, that street mentality, is it give you some awareness that's, in my opinion, I mean, and I'm gonna call it predatory awareness. And being a predator is not necessarily always bad, because but and I'm not trying to condone anything negative. My whole objective is to motivate us to do what we can do from a positive standpoint, stand within the framework of what is legal and righteous. You know what I'm saying? But we must always, we should anyway, take note of whatever it is that exists. We must pay attention to the ways of the land and how things operate within society. You know, so I just wanted you to bring some light on that, and I want to tell you to be mindful of individuals who you may come in contact with that speaks always about themselves, never have anything to say about you. Be mindful. Watch them. Be mindful of individuals who are who are jealous and who demonstrate envy, who demonstrate, I guess, bold body language, negative, that lie about who they are, who gossip about you, who uh, who has offensive, antagonistic ways, and they demonstrate that towards you, who doesn't support you. Pay attention to these things because they exist. And these are qualifications, these are qualities in individuals that may say to you, hey, I don't like you. That I don't, that I despise you. They might be jealous of the friends that you have. You know, I mean, people find, and again, today people are so sensitive that you can offend them and not even know it, and they hold that against you. So I tell you, just be mindful. Be mindful and realize that, you know, if you have a family member or a friend that you may be suffering some of that from, I suggest that you talk to them. Because we definitely need to work together if we can. But if you can't, if there's going to remain a problem, then you create some space between you. You can still love them, still your family or your friend, but they may not do you may not have your best interest at heart. So again, you know, I use the words simultaneously by right next to each other to our family and friend because these are the individuals that are important to me. However, I've learned that a lot of times there's a conflict within families, with family members and friends, and sometimes you can't resolve them. Sometimes you just have to create your space, and that's what you should do. And you should never allow anyone to dictate how you see yourself and who you are. Don't let no one control you. Don't let no one manipulate you or try to paint you in the corner because and again, it might just be because they want you to be who they want you to be, and that's a bad thing to do. And we all do that on some levels. Excuse me. We get mad at each other. We get mad at individuals because we won't let them or they won't let us control them. Honestly, to be honest, I don't want to control anyone. I uh, I believe that I may have knowledge of some information that may be better. May be better. We may be able to use to better our situation that you may not have. But I don't want to control you. I just want to put certain stuff out there in the universe, put it out there so we can grow from it. That's what it's about, sharing the game. You know, people say the game is to be sold and told. I don't want no money for what I'm doing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would like to be compensated, if all possible. If somebody feel that what I've given them is worthy of a tip, small donation. I mean, because it costs money to survive. It costs, and this is going to become my full-time job. Sharing what you are, growing what you are. So, the compensation. I mean, yeah, without a doubt, I would love to be compensated, and if it's beneficial. But I'm not doing it so for that sole purpose. But I definitely would like to be compensated. So if you feel that something I said is worth, I mean, tip me. I'm gonna start putting my Cash App out there or something. And if you want to help me, grow the channel, because I need you. I want you to. If you heard anything in this brief talk, in this brief monologue, if you heard anything that you think can help someone I beg of you to share it with them. I ask that you like, share, and I ask that you subscribe to the channel, because that's how the channel grow. And again, I want to obligate myself to this. I want to give you all some. I want to share some information, some my understanding, because I think it brings some possible balance, and then challenges, and it is, to be better, to do better, and it's just another perspective. And I think we need to be able to look out of all the windows in the house, not just one way. I don't want us to be tunnel vision. And this might bring a different perspective to you. I hope so. That's what my mission is for, to motivate us to grow, to be better, to become the visions that we inspire in our minds to see and to be. So again, I beg that share the information. If you know someone that possibly can help, share it. I'm sure you know someone that could possibly get some, and I ask you to share it. I ask you to like and share. And also, if you want to, add a comment to anything that I say, I mean, I even employ that you do that. Put it in a comment. Write down, say what you need to say. Say what I'm not above approach. I want to grow the channel, and I need your help. So we gonna have to communicate, with one another. What I need to do to make it better. I accept your real critique. So, as always, I say that be the example that you want to see in the universe, in the world. I say simply, be.